All right, so this is something you've been doing, Hardy, for a long time. I feel a little guilty. I didn't know you did, but with the Patriots playing tonight, in a game I'm actually quite interested in, Drake May, Joe Milton, Gerard Mayo's first game.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see all this stuff.
Well, it's all about having your peepers peeled.
Peeping.
And just what you're going to be on the lookout for tonight. So we just shoot it around and talking about, what's got your peepers peeled. Who gets the looky-loo tonight?
Looking out for you.
And anything that you're going to have your eye on in this preseason game number 1 tonight, peepers peeled. I think Drake May probably gets the first looky-loo tonight if he's on the field. Giving him the looky-loo. Ryan Johnston, what do you think you're going to see?
From Drake May or
That's
just
right.
in general? From Drake May, I don't know. I haven't seen it other than, I've heard all the reports. I've heard him dropping some in the bucket. I've heard, that he may not look like a 3rd overall draft pick. I don't know. I want to see him for the first time in real live game action.
Jeepers.
Wow. Peepers peeled on Drake May. Chalk it up on the board. We got 1 for Drake May. Fred, are you keeping your peepers peeled for Drake May tonight?
I am. I'm warm for his form.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm looking at that, but there's Hardy, if I may. There's someone else that I might take a gander at.
Oh.
Man by the name Joey Milton.
Hated by Joe Milton.
I am. And I'm always curious who's zooming who as well. You zooming me, you son of a bitch. Nah, I'm zooming you.
Yeah, let's not get the zooming mixed up here.
Fred, I'm sure you already know this, but earlier this week, Joe Milton cleared up the controversy over his actual nickname. It is not Bazooka Joe. It is Rocket, he says.
Well, they're both so original. I mean, does he have the comedy to follow up the Bazooka Joe comments? But I am very much looking forward to New England seeing Joe Milton, to see him on a field with other players.
Now, do you think he's overall going to impress or disappoint?
Well, I heard a report, Hardy. I don't know if you heard this or not, but I heard a report he might actually beat out Drake May on the depth chart.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
That was a national report.
That was Colin Cowherd.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's when we started saying, what is the... Colin Cowherd's talented and obviously knows what he's doing, but what is when the return on investment on your take is not worth it? And with Joe Milton, you're telling the people that follow SEC football as well as fans of the New England Patriots that's not happening. But I am interested in him going out there, and it would even be funnier if he goes out, because he goes out, with the 3rd team. He plays in like the 4th quarter, and it's just a bunch of people that are never going to play in the NFL, and he throws like a pass on the run, like a 70-yard pass on the run, and then people are like, "Oh, see, I want him hanging around as long as possible." Joe Milton I'm very, as I've been proving all along, I'm fascinated with New England and the relationship with Joe Milton, because it's going to be so disappointing. Is that Anita Baker?
Aretha Franklin.
Oh, well, I'd much rather sleep with Anita Baker.
A friend of mine...
Sweet love!
Friend of mine back in Detroit had a job where she had to run documents and stuff to, various people, and had to go into Aretha Franklin's home. This is probably 20 years ago. And not well kept, that home. A lot of takeout bags, a lot of pizza boxes, a lot of stuff thrown around. A very nice home. Aretha Franklin, did well financially, but was apparently not the best housekeeper.
Well, then who was eating all the pizza and takeout?
I'd have thought she could have afforded somebody to come in and tidy up once in a while.
Well, I mean, I just am questioning, what, did she have a bunch of house guests?
No, it may have been Aretha herself. So, all right. Who else tonight? Who's essentially... going to be popular in your ocular tonight. We've talked about a couple of the quarterbacks so far. Anybody on the defense there, Ryan Johnston?
Well, I want to see if Matthew Judon's on the field. since he, occasionally shows up for practice.
There's no chance. Is he?
Gerard Mayo said everyone who's healthy is going to play, and I don't think that Matthew Judon has any injuries at this point.
If he explodes on the sideline, that would be fantastic. And they like he has to get traded tomorrow morning because see him throwing a fit on the sidelines. Like Mayo tries to put him in and he just starts going crazy.
Or he doesn't dress, but he's on the sideline and he's just like, a total distraction.
He's on the phone.
Goofing around with guys, taking everybody off it would be phenomenal.
Yeah, I could see that going very sideways. I don't know why they haven't drafted him yet.
Traded him.
Traded him yet. Drafted him. Haven't traded him yet.
I can't imagine he goes into the game. I mean, he's practiced what, twice? Was he had 2 practices? Like real in-pads practices?
We don't count the one where the other day where he just stretched and then left.
That
right?
does not count.
Okay. So yeah, I think I want to say maybe 3, but it's not more than that, I don't think.
Well, I will tell you this, is that if Gerard Mayo said everyone healthy is playing, that includes that includes Judon, and that if Judon doesn't play, it's going to be an issue. I mean, Gerard Mayo knew what he was saying when he said it, and maybe he was saying it to him. Maybe he's like, you're going to play. You're under contract and you're going to play. If you don't play, you're going to be fined. And maybe that's what they have to do.
Looking out for you.
Matthew Judon maybe on the field tonight. I highly doubt it. I got one that's kind of off the board here. We talked about it a little bit earlier.
Don't do it.
No, I'm going to do it right now because of the unorthodox nature of these preseason games. The fact that Scott Zolak will be on the TV calling those games with the McCourty brothers. It's a different way of looking at somebody because you're essentially
looking at you through the glass,
the broadcasting window, and seeing what Zoe and the McCourtys have to say and do for the game. I think that could be a good one tonight. So I will have my peepers peeled and my ears open for Zoe and the McCourtys. Can't wait to see what they bring to the table.
Now, you think that could be a disaster? Both of you. We were talking about this before the show.
Listen, I am biased as a person who has spent a decent chunk of their career as a play-by-play guy. Having no play-by-play guy in the booth, particularly in a game where people aren't going to be able to identify at least half the people that are on the field, I don't buy it. But
you made that because that is an interesting point.
I mean, if they're entertaining, that could keep people tuned in. But I also want to know what's going on and who's making good plays. And I will see if they can get that message across even as they're just having a discussion.
Because you make a good point. If you are watching the game, you're going to want to know who's doing what, and you're not going to know because you're going to not be familiar with any of these guys. And if there's no one there to say it,
right,
that's going to be a problem.
If they're just kind of having a chat and they're not really telling you what's happening in the game, which is the general idea of this, I think like the Manning cast is, kind of kicked this whole thing off. And I get why people might watch that when they're not interested in the game. But if you have an interest in the game, to me, the play-by-play guy still has a valuable role in that. As good as my TV is, I can't necessarily tell you who, the middle linebacker on Carolina is in the third quarter. And if he makes a play, I'd like to at least know his name.
Okay, I will go on record. I do not think it's going to be a disaster. And we all goof on Zoe. I goof on Zoe for his attention issues. But the one time he is focused in for 3 or 4 hours is during a football game. So he absolutely will be paying attention. Now, when it comes to the guys lower on the depth chart, that's where I think the McCourtys, both of them impress me as guys who will do their homework and be equipped to talk about anybody who's out there on the field who does something worthy of mention. So even if not all 3 of them are ready to talk about every single player on the roster, I bet them at least one of the McCourtys will be, and I don't think it'll be a disaster. I think it'll be entertaining.
All right. Well, we just gave you a lot of stuff, Hardy. We just gave the people a lot of stuff.
We didn't even mention the kickoff.
But it was so fun the first time. I don't want to spoil it for people. If you didn't see the Hall of Fame game,
strap in. You're gonna have a hell of a night.
Well, it was canceled for rain, which shows you how important it was. But the Hall of Fame game, I mean, this new kickoff, The best was over the weekend when they leave the programming here at the station. They go to national, like sports talk guys that are doing weekends. Not the cream of the crop. And hearing them horseshoe kickoff conversation for like segment after segment after segment. Yeah. Like, all right, it's different and it's interesting. It's like interesting topic of conversation for like 3 minutes. And then it's no longer interesting. Then you got to start talking about BDSM, which I'm learning a lot about. Bondage and discipline.
Upset about calls or situations. When David Ross is behind the plate, he's so much more focused.
That's when the gift kind of struck back. The DS in BDSM, dominance and submission. In the M, sadism and masochism.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Good stuff, guys.
Thank you, Hardy.
Wrapped it all up into one.
These songs make me feel old because this sounds like what 1940s music sounded to me like when I was a kid. That genre of music. Who's zooming who? Like Anita Baker, late Aretha Franklin.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't hold up that well. All right. Well, very good. And Hardy Completist, you got your Who's Zooming Who Peepers segment.
If you like that clip, and how could you not? Check out more videos from Toucher and Hardy here. Point slightly up and to the left. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. Point slightly down and to the left. And for the latest from the Sports Hub, download at 985thesportshub.com.